Hello lovelies and welcome to this week's video. This week will be the first of a few, I'm sure, videos on myths that are not true about Wiccans, witches, pagans, just the whole group. So number one, we are dark and evil and satanic. We are often confused, I think, with the Church of Satan and Luciferians, and oftentimes conspiracy theorists like Alex Jones and people that are hardcore Christians or people who just don't know like to just group us all together and say that we all do the same stuff, when obviously that is not true at all. Yeah, those people also sometimes use magic or call themselves witches, but it's a completely different thing than what we do. They are not the average witch when people refer to themselves as witch or Wiccan or druid or whatever. Some witches are even Christian and call themselves witches and perform certain magic or make potions or herbal things and do a lot of like the holistic healings and will call themselves Christian witches. So it really is a wide spectrum and there's a lot of confusion. Witches oppose the use of negative, harmful magic and discourage people from hurting others emotionally, physically, magically, however. There's also the threefold law, which is somewhat, I guess, for those who aren't familiar with Wicca or witchcraft or paganism, it's similar to like instant karma, I guess you could say, like karma that just instantly happens, but threefold. So basically, anything you wish, any magic you perform or manifest that involves somebody else or is towards them will come back to you threefold, including magic that you may do for yourself that may be to benefit yourself or something like that that is not for the greater good. You might get something back. So there's that. And we are to follow that. Wiccans, Druids, Thelemics, and most pagans also follow the whole idea of do what thou wilt, harm none idea, though it's stated differently in all of the aforementioned belief systems. I believe, yeah, that is the exact Crowley quote for the Thelemic, but all of them do believe in that type of idea. So even the one that is known to be the darkest, the Thelemic, still says harm none. So that kind of disproves any of the darkness. Then there's also the idea about Satan and the devil. We do not even believe in Satan or the devil. I mean, of course, the Christian witches are not really part of this because obviously they would believe in that. But for the Wiccans, pagans, don't believe in Satan or the devil. Because we're often confused with Satanists and Luciferians, followers of Wiccans and other pagan belief systems or solitary eclectic witches, pagans, are very much associated with this idea of the devil. But the concept of the devil or Satan and hell are part of Christian theology, which came after the original pagan belief systems, in which like Wicca and modern day witchcraft and paganism derives from. And it's also ironic that the horned god in which we follow was kind of the idea that the Christians took for what the devil or Satan would look like. So that was kind of part of them trying again to make us look bad and disprove anything that Wiccan or pagans, because this is pre-Wicca, believed in. Also, another thing I'm going to mention is prior to Christianity, for the most part, pagans, witches, whatever you want to call them, were basically people that just did like holistic, what we call holistic healing, made potions and magical things to try and help themselves and heal others and just aid people. They're like the medicine people. So, anyways, number 2, along with the idea of being evil, witches do not do hexes or things of that nature, or at least in the manner in which people believe. Yes, there are hexes, but it's not the way people believe. An example that is very, very popular right now about hexing would be the hex against Donald Trump. It's actually not a hex. What was proposed was a binding spell. A binding spell is actually a very positive thing, both for the people or person performing them as well as for the person that it's going towards. So a binding spell is basically binding the powers of the whatever of the person from harming themselves and harming others. So that's all that these people are trying to do. They're not hexing Donald Trump and doing something evil to him. No, they're just trying to bind him from harming others and himself as well. So, yes, that binding someone is usually used by witches of all backgrounds to protect themselves from psychic vampires, people whom have harmed themselves or others that they know. So, that's all that is. Number 3. Witchcraft, it was created to destroy Christianity. Okay, well, that's actually not true. And in fact, Christianity pretty much ran out pagans out of Ireland, out of like Rome. Paganism has been around pre-Christian, as some type of paganism or witchcraft has been around since pretty much the dawn of time. It is an earth-based religion that uses the energies of the earth, sun, and moon, as well as the gifts of nature, like plants, etc., to heal, perform magic, and just to help us with our daily lives. Wicca came about in the 20th century, bringing these beliefs back into popularity by intertwining many of the ancient belief systems into a new religion of witchcraft called Wicca. Basically, Wicca took the ancient reverence of nature, observation of the cycles of the seasons and the moon, celebrations of the harvest that are ancient celebrations, and doing magic, and added modern elements to work into today's society. That'll make it something similar with a lot of focus on Egypt. So, yes, it was around long before, but there have been new religions that were created after. Wiccans, witches, druids, and other modern pagans sacrifice animals or humans. No. Followers are encouraged to respect all living things. Wiccans make sacrifices or offerings to their chosen deities, gods, goddesses, fairies, whatever. But the offerings are bread, fruit, flowers, or other gifts of nature that are not animals or humans. Yeah. And in fact, not all, but a lot of people that follow some form of earth-based religion or paganism or whatever are vegetarians or vegans, and the majority have some form of environmentalism. Those that are not vegetarians or vegans, a lot of them, I'm not saying all, so please do not like fill up my comments with like, I'm a Wiccan and I eat meat, blah 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 blah. But a lot of them do give thanks to the gods and goddesses for the animal as food. Not all do, but a lot do. they don't take it as, like, for granted because they respect nature. Witches are ugly, evil women who are out to destroy men and pretty women. Hi. uh, this completely is untrue for many reasons. For one, many are men. Most Jews throughout history are men. Wicca was created by men. Thalamic was created by Crowley. And yeah, Wicca and other forms of witchcraft and paganism can be used and is very much so a part of today as a way for women to feel empowered due to it not being a sexist spirituality or religion. Um, and a lot of them are Wiccan because that's the more popular one, and it actually has a religion, has blah blah blah, and has like rules and things that people, constructs that people can follow. Um, but yeah, it that just because a lot of people get drawn to it because it helps them feel empowered does not mean that they're ugly and they're out to destroy men. No film and television have commonly done this, as well as Halloween costumes made us have are green with warts and all of that craziness. This type of giving us this old ugly version of the crone dates back to the times of Salem witch trials and even prior, when Christianity first was trying to discredit pagan religions and get rid of them. So yeah. Number 6. You must be part of a coven to be an actual Wiccan, witch, druid, etc. This is not true at all, and there are many books just on being a solitary Wiccan written by the founders of Wicca and the people that were like studying under the founders. There's also books on being a solitary witch or pagan. And keep in mind that for a long period of time, a lot of witches, pagans, whatever have you, prior to modern paganism, were solitary magic or medicine wise women, men, whatever you want to call it. There's so many names who people would go to when they were wanting to be healed with some type of naturally based potion aid or spells or things of that nature, or for some other assistance. In fact, many historians argue that the word coven wasn't actually used until the Salem witch trials. And again, that prior it was magic women, wise men, healers, and psychics that people would go to in time of need. Of course, there were groups and celebrations, but many pagan historians say it was not the common thing to have what we have today as the modern coven. It was more of a community if there was a group. Of course, some dispute this. Either way, you do not need to be in a coven to be a modern witch of any type of witchcraft. So, yeah. Number 7, we do not ride broomsticks. Oh, I feel like I'm making a feminist video here about, like, the burning of the bras. No, we do not ride broomsticks. There are many purposes and historical truths about witches and broomsticks and what they were used for, including the fact that some back in the day, prior to Wicca and modern paganism, would make potions they experimented with at one time, usually including mandrake, which I love, which caused them to hallucinate, do some nudity, and all of a sudden they were hallucinating and riding broomsticks and doing some crazy stuff. Now, I don't know if that is actually true, but those are some of the stories. Either way, broomsticks are important. in ridding your home of negative energies, your circle of negative energies. They're used for protection and other magical needs. The way in which you sweep during rituals or cleaning, spring cleaning, cleansing, can help cleanse the home of unwanted negative energies and entities and possessions. Hanging a mini broom, for example, on your front door with purple usually or some other type of symbolism of protection can protect your home from anything negative and unwanted, along with a huge list of other purposes that I could go on and on about, but this video is already hella long, so I'm gonna stop right there. But I could make a video on the purposes of the broomstick if people would like that. One tip, never sweep towards the door. Okay. So those are 7 myths that are untrue about witches. If you have not yet, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, press the bell to get notified, and check out my store, check out my Facebook page, my Instagram, my new Twitter, and all that good stuff. I'm probably gonna start up my newsletter again and make it a new link and a new newsletter. So if people are down for that, message on any of my stuff, and I'll see you next time. I love you all, and maybe my next video will be on things you can do with broomsticks. So, blessed be, love you all. Have a great week. Bye.